Good evening, everybody. Just waiting for people to join in. Just while you're waiting, make sure that you've got your syllabus handbook and your training notebook with you. You should all have your syllabus handbook and your training notebook with you.
Levi.
Okay, time to get started, guys. Go. Go in. Raise your right hand and recite the tenets together. Shijok, courtesy, integrity, perseverance, self-control, indomitable spirit. And now the student oath. Shijok, I shall observe the tenets of Taekwondo. I shall respect the instructor and seniors. I shall never misuse Taekwondo. I shall be a champion of freedom and justice. I shall build a more peaceful world. Bottom. Before we get started with our physical training, I want you all to get your syllabus notebooks and your training notebooks and have them in front of you. So your syllabus book for your grade will tell you the techniques that you need to know. So make sure you're reading through those and you know all of the techniques and all of the theory that you need to know for your level. And in your read training notebook, I want you to, if you haven't already, to write in your goal for the term and your goal for the year. What is it you want to attain by the end of this term, and what do you want to attain by the end of this year? And then for each of those goals, you should be writing down what are the things you need to get better at to attain that goal. So it might be listen to your instructor's feedback. It might be stronger stances. It might be more power. It might be working on the movements in your kicks, practicing your pattern, your step sparring. All of those things are going to be things that you'll need to do to get ready for your next grading. Okay, so make sure you've got those things written down in your goals. Now, it's worthwhile coming to training about 10 minutes early. Of course, you're supposed to be at class 10 minutes early anyway. And when you get to class 10 minutes early, that's the right time to ask one of your seniors or the instructor for some help with some of the fundamental movements you may not know. Okay, so if there's a movement in your syllabus you're not sure of, so yellow belts, if you're not sure of what a knife hand side strike is, come a little bit earlier and ask one of your instructors for help. Does that make sense to everybody? So check that you have your goal written down. If you haven't, I'm going to give you a minute to write your goal down now and a couple of bullet points about what you need to achieve to get there. Also, make sure that you are using those training notebooks to write down your notes, to give you feedback. Any feedback you get from your instructors, write those notes down. Anything you learn, like little stance, lengths and widths and so forth, draw little diagrams in your training notebook to help you remember things. So all of those things are useful. Just one other little point, make sure you turn off your virtual backgrounds, guys, because otherwise you'll disappear when we're doing training and I won't be able to give you feedback effectively. Okay, that's enough time. Let's get physical. Rotating wrists. Change direction. Elbows. Change direction. Arms forward. Arms back. And hands in front of you, feet are shoulder apart, twisting your torso. Left ankle. Change direction. Change foot. Change direction. Hands on your knees and squatting right down, feet flat on the floor, and then standing up, leaning forward, squatting right down, and standing up, squatting down, standing up, squatting down, standing up, squatting down, standing up, squatting down, standing up. Good. Set up, hands by your brain. Circling your legs outwards. Big circles. Just keep your knee bent for this. Cool. And inwards. And circling your hips a little bit. Change direction. Okay, now, I want you all to get a chair or something similar. Here's a chair I prepared earlier. You might be able to use the wall where you are. From here, give you a moment to come back with something that looks a bit like a chair. Yeah, you guys can share that. A stool between two is fine. You can share the stool. Lovely. One hand on the chair like this, other hand up by your brain, and then just very gently 12 front rising kicks. And now your other leg. Good. Now, both hands on the chair. Turn both of your feet so you're facing one direction. So I'm facing away from you here. And now the foot that's closest to the chair is going to swing back. I lean my body over a bit. Swing my leg upward. This is side rising kick. Same the other way. So the foot that's on the floor is pointing away from where I'm kicking. Last one, stand facing your chair and then just swing your leg up behind you. Look over your shoulder. Swing it nice and high. Try and keep it straight. And then you're done with your chair. Okay, good stuff. Now, one leg forward, one leg back, hands up, back hand up, guard your brain, front hand extended out a little bit, just bouncing nice and lightly on the balls of your feet. And then we're going to go forward. I'm going to push forward with my back foot and bring my stance back to normal again. When I go backward, I push with my front foot, bring my stance back to normal again. So I'm not taking a giant jump, forward, backward, forward, backward. Nice and easy, good. Keep your hands up. Just a little step, Mason. Just going forwards and backwards, just a little step. Notice I'm not going too far here. Now change your feet. I'll go facing the other way so I can still see you. Forward and back. Push forward. Push back. Notice my stance gets bigger and then smaller. Bigger, back to normal. Bigger, normal. Good. Okay, now I'm going to face you guys for the next bit. If I'm going sideways, I move the close foot first, then the other foot. So if I'm going this way, I move that foot, then the other one. So I go open, close. If I go back the other way, this one, then this one. So if I'm going right, I go right, left. If I'm going left, I go left, right. So we go 1, 2, 1, 2. Back the other way. 1, 2. 1, 2. Keep your stance. Hands up. Still facing sideways. I want a small target here. If I open my stance too wide, look how big this target is. If I keep it a little bit more sideways, the target's much, much smaller. So keep a little bit more sideways, nice and light on your feet. 1, 2. 1, 2. Go that way. That way. That way. That way. That way, that way. Change feet. So when we change, we just go nice and fast. We don't jump too high. Just switch feet as quickly as we can. Change. And change. This time we go that way. That way. That way. That way. That way. That way. Stay side on. Okay, now let's go forward. And then we'll go that way. Then we'll go backward. Then we'll go that way. So we're making like a little square. Make a little square on the ground. Good. Switch. Now make a square the other way. Forward, that way, backward, that way, forward, that way, backward, that way. Keep going. When you go sideways, you open, then close. That's it, Jade. Good. And come on. Oh, relax. Okay. So that's just our basic footwork. When we go forward, we push with the back foot. When we go backward, we push with the front foot. when we go sideways, we open the stance, then close it. So if I'm going, this is my right, I go right, left. This is my left, left, right. If I change stance, close to the floor. Left, right, right, left. So I'm not crossing my feet over. Okay, grab a little mouthful of water. Okay, back to it. Now when we go forward, we're going to punch with the front hand. Then we go backward, we punch with that front hand again. Change feet. Good, good. Okay, now we're going to go sideways, backhand punch. Sideways, backhand punch. Now, one little thing I want you to notice, when I punch with my backhand, I move my front foot a little bit. Otherwise, it feels really awkward. I step my stance a little bit wider, punch with my backhand, and then come back to my stance again. See that? A little bit of a movement. So we go sideways punch with the backhand. Sideways punch with the backhand. Sideways, backhand. Sideways, backhand. Sideways, backhand. Sideways, backhand. Sideways, backhand. Switch. Sideways, backhand. 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 Good. You've got that really well. So we're going to make it tricky. We're going to do our square again. Forwards, sideways, backhand, backwards, sideways, backhand. Forwards, jab. Sideways, reverse. Backwards, jab. Sideways, reverse. Go, try that in the little square. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Cool. Try the other foot. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Arm relax. Nice. Good work. Okay. Now let's use our legs. We're going to work on that yop chagi. Now remember, when we're doing side piercing kick, the tool that we are using is called the foot sword. This edge of your foot here. When you kick, your foot should be sideways and slightly downward, like mine is on screen. Not sticking up like this, slightly downwards. My toes are pulled out of the way, so I'm hitting with this edge of my foot, called my foot sword. So from this angle, it's this way. There's my foot turned over. Now to achieve this when I kick, the foot that's on the ground has to turn the other way. Lift my knee, stamp out, and back down. Lift, stamp, down. Kicking towards the camera, you'll see lift, stamp, back, down. Okay, let's get it ready. Everyone stand sideways to the camera like this, so you can see me. From here, you're gonna lift that front foot up, throw your yop chain, and back, and back. Make sure that foot's pointing slightly downwards. Ensure, very importantly, the one that's on the ground has got to point away from your kick. Don't keep that pointing towards the front. It's got to turn and point behind me. This is pivoting. It's pointing that way. The one that's on the ground is pointing the other way. And then lean your body a little bit. Go. It's a stamping motion, like stamping on the ground. When you stamp, you lift your knee and drop it. You don't lift your foot and drop this way. That's not a stamp. This is a stamp. Okay, Alex, watch the angle of your foot sticking up a little bit. Point it slightly down. You got to lean and turn your hips. David, pivot that supporting foot that's on the ground. That way you can lean over and get the correct foot angle. Better put my chat on so that I can see questions coming in. Here we go. Okay, just relax and throw your kick. Okay, try the other leg. Relax. Levi, you've got your hand up. Did you have a question? Cool. Now from here, other leg. Lift and step. Come on, Jade. Stop looking at the screen. Let's get some work in. Lift and step. That supporting foot, the one that's on the ground, turn it away from your kick. And pause for a moment. Watch this way. I'm going to angle my camera so you can see my feet. I'm in my stance facing in this direction. When I kick, this is my back leg, this one here that I'm pointing to. That one there is going to turn that way. So I can lift and kick this way. Okay, it has to turn. Some of you, Mason, watching, some of you are still kicking with both feet pointing this way. I can't do a good side kick like this. My motion's not going to be right, and I haven't got power because my hips are all closed. I have to pivot and kick. Geelon, put that away. Lift and kick. My pivot, as I lift, my supporting foot pivots, then I can kick out and back. Okay, let's do a few more each leg. Go. Okay, and the other leg. Have to pivot and lean. And come on. Okay. Now let our punches. From here, yop chagi, punch, punch. Yop chagi, punch, punch. Watch my front foot. Yop chagi, punch, punch. Opening my stance, then close up again. Yop chagi, punch, punch, and back. Go. Yop chagi, punch, punch. Good. Front hand and back hand. David, pivot a little bit more. Turn that supporting foot so that you're doing a yop chagi. At the moment, you're doing a push with your foot sticking up. Foot sideways. You have to turn that supporting foot. Connor, a little bit more. Oh, sorry, Cohen. That's better. Yes, more stamp, less flick. That was good, Cohen. Step. Good. Pull those toes back, Alex. A bit more stamp. Mason, a little bit more stamp, a little bit less flick. Harper and Kenzie, a bit more stamp. You're flicking a bit. You're lifting your heel up behind you and flicking out this way. You want to lift your knee up in front of you and stamp out this way. Okay, so lift your knee and stamp. Tyler, you're off screen. I can't help you. Come on, Geelong. Let's see the kicks. Good. After you kick, use your front hand, Geelong. Kick, front hand, 1, 2. Front, back. Not back, then front. Other way around, Geelong. Same leg that kicks. That's the hand that does the first punch. Good. And come on. Okay. Let's do something a little bit more tricky. Watch this way. So what we're going to do this time, like our sideways step, 1, 2, then we're going to lift up our front leg and slap the other person in the face. Okay, this is reverse hook and kick. 1, 2, slap. So notice when I lift my leg up, my bum's sticking out. And then from here, I bend my foot and slap them in the face. Sideways, it looks like this. Let's try it. It's fun. Ready? Put your favorite leg at the front first. Favorite leg in front. Back leg steps out. Front leg comes up. Slap them in the face and then come back to your stance. You've got to lean your body over. Lean over, lift your leg up and flick across this way. Okay? 1, 2. 1, 2. Cool, try that a few times. It's a fun kick. That's it, Mason, good. I'm not sure whether that's Harper or Kenzie, but it's looking good. Try your other leg. Step, kick. Step, kick. Keep that back hand up by your brain. That'll help a lot with your balance. Step, kick. Step, kick. Alex, remember to start sideways. Sideways to start with. Step off to the side, lift up, step, slap. And come on, good. Grab a drink. Okay, so what we've done so far is different types of footwork, forward, backward, and sideways. We also did our switch, forward, backward, sideways. We then added to that, punch with the front hand when we went forward, punch with the front hand when we went backwards, and when we went sideways, we used the backhand. Sideways, backhand. After that, we just worked on our front leg yopchagi. A nice stamp. Lift that front leg and stamp. And then we added to that 2 punches. Stamp, 2 punches. Back to the stance. Okay. Now, let's get back to some basics. Parallel ready stance. Ready? From here, bring your left hand up in front of you and your right hand onto your hip. This is parallel stance punch. Now from here, when we punch in parallel stance, we come up onto our toes a little bit. So 1 is relax, 2 pull back and rise up, 3, punch and tense up at the moment of impact. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Go in your own time. Make sure you're punching to the center line of your body. Keep your legs straight for parallel stance. Do a high punch now. Punch at your eye level. Make sure your punch finishes on the center line of your body. Now do tummy button height. Good. Awesome. Okay, and relax. Now we're going to do Gujari Jedigi. From here, right side, then left side. Walking stance punch. Now I can create sine wave with my knees, so my heels don't come off the floor. 1, extend my other hand up, pull my punching hand to my hip. I bent my knees and relax. Then 2, I rise up, pull back to my hip. 3, I drop into my stance and punch. Now, your walking stance is 1 shoulder width wide. So imagine you've got train tracks on your feet that are the same widths as your shoulders. For a punch, your hips and your shoulders are dead straight, not angled sideways, dead straight. The length of your stance, we say it's 1.5 shoulder widths, but that only works if you're short and broad. It's actually, the way you think about it, when I extend my punch, it should line up with my 3rd toe. So I'm punching to the center line of my body, but if I were putting my fist against the wall, my toes would just touch the same wall. Okay, let's go. Parallel stance punch. Walking stance punch from parallel stance. Gujari Jedigi. Relax. 1, pull back. 2, punch. 3. Check your stance is nice and long. Check your hips are straight. Check your punches the center line of your body. Then come back to parallel stance. Now to the other side. Go. And back. Right side. And back. Left side. Now check. Your punch should be center line. Hips and shoulders straight. Got your train tracks with your feet. Punch right to the middle. Mason, your hips are on an angle. You need to straighten up the hips and shoulders. Your back foot should point almost straight ahead. Don't let that back foot point sideways. Okay, good. Now, instead of doing your forearm high, full fist middle punch, we're going to do forearm low block. We'll start by putting the right leg to the back. I'm going to put my left hand on top like I'm smashing 2 watches. Step back into my low block. My hips and shoulders will now have a little angle. That's just natural. But I've still got to have my feet in the same places as when I punched. And then forward. My 3 count. 1, hands in front of my chest. 2, reach back and cross. 3, drop and block. So once you start moving, you don't stop. Back. 1, 2, 3. Return. 1, 2, 3. Return. 1, 2, 3. Cohen, just watch the angle of your back foot. Make sure it's pointing forwards and you've got your train tracks. That's it. Let that blocking arm's got to bend a little bit. And your hips and shoulders can have a small angle now. And back. 1, 2, 3. Return. 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 Cool. Okay, now let's put them together. Right side first. Punch. And then step back and block. Forward and punch. Back and block. Come on, Harper and Kenzie. It's not a holiday. Forward and punch. Check your shoulders are straight. Back and block. Both feet straight ahead. Both feet pointing forwards. forward and punch, back and block. Don't cross for your punches. Just bring the other hand up in front of you, pull back, punch, go. Lift your other hand up and then pull it back when you punch. Alex, straighten your hips and shoulders, punch to the middle. Step back and block. Now when you punch, lift that hand up and pull back when you punch. Straighten your hips and shoulders, Mason, both feet forwards and butt all. Now the other side. Hana. Cross and block. Cool. Punch. Block. Punch. Block. Punch. Block. Punch. Block. Punch. Check your hips and shoulders are straight. Straighten your hips and shoulders. Some of you are going sideways again. Alex. Straighten up a bit, Levi. Straighten up, David. Both feet forwards. Mason, straighten up. And block. And buttle. Come on, watch when you're stepping back. You've got that back foot pointing sideways like this. Should be facing forwards here. Okay, so watch when you're stepping back that you're still maintaining those train tracks. Keeping your feet forwards. Okay, forward direction punch. Key thing for everybody when you turn in particular, make sure you're maintaining that stance. So if I start this way, punch forward, when I turn, I've got to keep my train tracks for my feet with both feet pointing forward. Don't be narrow with that back foot sticking sideways. Both feet forward, one shoulder apart. Forward direction punch. Complete. I'm watching those stances. Right side. Where's your ready position? Some of you up like this. Here, down in front of your tummy. Right side. Hana. Straighten your hips and shoulders up. A little bit longer, Mason, and wider in your stance. David, straighten up your shoulders. Dual, low block. Now check your stance. One of the best things that you can do with your Taekwondo is self-correct. If you can look at your stance and make little corrections every time, you will get better much more quickly than if you're always waiting for the instructor to correct you. Set, punch. Check your stance, check your shoulders, punch to the middle. Come on, Geelon. Net. Cross and block. Make sure both of your feet are forwards and you've got your train tracks. Go on, just adjust your stance. Net, punch. Lift up, pull back, hips and shoulders straight. One shoulder width wide in your stances. Tassel. Check your stance. Train tracks, both feet forwards. Yasa. Good. And bottle. Now let's do that without count. Same side, the right side. Ready? She, jump. Check your last stance. Alex, longer. Hips and shoulders straight. Mason, longer. David, straighten your stance up. Hips and shoulders straight. Make sure you've got your train tracks. Bottom. Okay, now the left side. Mic out. Left foot this time. Ha! Walking stance. Four-fist middle punch. Check your train tracks. Hips and shoulders are straight. Here. Not like this. Straight. Dual. Now check your stance. Check your train tracks, both feet forwards. Set. Alex, when you're punching, make sure it goes in a straight line from your hip. Your fist goes in a straight line from your hip. That time you kind of went forward and rose up a bit, like this. Okay. Net. Now check your train tracks. Go on, adjust those train tracks. It's good. Tassel. Straighten your hips and shoulders. Yasa. Come on, Geelon. You've got to be able to do this without me. Ilga. Good. Straighten the hips and shoulders. Good adjustments, Levi. Harper and Kenzie, bend that front leg a little bit, make it a little bit longer. Mason, other hand on your hip. Jade, longer. That stance is itty bitty. That's better. And Buttle. Okay, now let's do it together with our counts. Ready. Shijok. Check your last position. Alex, straighten up your hips and shoulders, punch the middle. Geelon, longer stance. David, train tracks. Hips and shoulders straight ahead. Model. Okay, we're going to do one more pattern. I'm going to watch this one. I want everybody to do the highest pattern they know. Can you raise your hand if you do not know your own pattern? Okay, everyone knows their own pattern. Excellent. Okay, white belts, you do four direction block. Yellow stripes are going to do chonji, and yellow belts dangun, green stripes dosan. Now, here's a very important point about our small space. If you don't have enough space for your pattern, do good long stances and change your position. So, for example, if I'm doing chonji and I do my low block here and I don't have enough room for my punch, I'll do my step back and then I'll continue my pattern. Then I'll step and then I'll punch. So finish your movement, do a good strong stance, then move your position a bit and then continue. Okay, your own pattern, my count. If you get to any movement in your pattern and you don't know what it's for or how it works, raise your hand. Ready to beat. My count. Alex Jambit. Parallel ready stance. Okay, so white belts who are not yet yellow stripe are doing Saju Maki, four direction block, right side and then left side. Hana. Mason, come back to the start again. Step that way with your left. Hold up your left hand. That's it. You step that foot out, not the other foot back. So do that first movement again for me. Go. Yes, that's better. Low block. Another low block. Come back once more, Mason. Come back once more, Mason. Now step out to your left and do your low block. Go. Yes, that's good. Harper and Kenzie, that's a high block, eye level. You guys are shoulder height. Lift it up to your eye level. Okay, and do. Cohen, watch those feet. Make sure you got the foot angles, train tracks. Set. Other foot forward, Mason. Net. Punch, Mason. That's it. Punch, Mason. That's a punch. Now you got to step that front foot towards the camera, towards me. Tasa. Low block, Jade. That's it. Yasa. Okay, Harper and Kenzie. Walking stance. Walking stance. Straighten your walking stance up. Hips and shoulders are straight. This is movement 6. It's a thrust. After movement 6 is when you do your release. So don't go straight to the release. Do the thrust first. Hana. Now release. Then turn and do your back fist. Carry on to the next one, Harper and Kenzie. You do that in one count. You don't have to start halfway in the stance. Eye level, striking with your back fist. Not this way, Harper and Kenzie. It's this way after you've done the thrust. And the next movement as well is the same way, across underneath. Tasa. Okay. Hana. White belts, just come back to your ready position and next count, start the other side. So that one, Harper and Kenzie, is your block. Eye level again. That one's a block. There's only the two back fists. Do. Good, Jade. That twin forearm block's tricky. When you do that twin forearm block though, Jade, just be a little bit more side on in your L stance rather than forwards. And change hands. Front hand goes forward. So come back to the previous movement. This way. Change feet. Now that's it, yes. But now go side on in your L stance. Turn your hips a little bit side. That's it. That looks great. That's what we want. Awesome. Now step forward and do your punch. Hana. Now you've got Jade. Your movement is 1 and 2. Ready, go. Now, Jade, from here, from your high punch, you're going 1 and 2 towards your garage door, Now, other way. There we go. 1 and 2. That's it. Now you're going to step forward and do your tricky monkey. Ha! Harper and Kenzie, those two are eye level. Those movements are eye level. Do. Set. Good. Just watch that back foot, Cohen. Good. You're starting to correct it yourself. In Sajumaki, Cohen, it's a knife hand low block and then an inner forearm middle block. Do. L stance there, Jade. Change your body facing a bit more sideways. There we go. That looks good. So it's half facing. Good. Net. Dasa. Harper and Kenzie, make sure your forearms are above your head. Make sure you're blocking above your head. Not over this like this. It doesn't work. Hana. Open your knees in your sitting stances, both feet pointing forwards. Do. And bottle. Good. And take a rest, grab a mouthful of water, and if you've got any questions, either unmute and ask or type them into chat. Just come up and look at your screen for a moment. There's something I want to show you on our website. So while you're at home, when you're starting to learn the movements from your pattern, on our website, glendowie.com, under members, there's a really useful sheet page called Syllabus Sheet and Resources. When you go to that page and you scroll down a little bit, you'll see there's syllabus videos. This has videos of the fundamental movements you need to know for your grade. Okay. Yellow belts, your releasing technique stuff is also here under self-defense respond principles. Okay. Which is really, I'm just talking about the principles of self-defense there. So those who have not got a yellow stripe, you're a 10th cup. So white belts page. Those who are yellow stripe, you're a 9th cup. Then your yellow belts are here and green stripes are here. And I'm going to go to the yellow belt one, actually. So we'll look at Jade's. So here, it starts off with a bit of a warm-up. Then there's a fundamental movements video. So for all of you, there's a video of your fundamental movements. So this is all the stuff that you have to know for your grade, and it demonstrates those. So it's a good video to watch. Then for yellow stripes, well, in fact, for everybody, there's a video of your pattern. For white belts, there's videos of Sajujitigi and Sajumaki. These ones are from Master Rimmer and Toronga. And then yellow belts and green stripes is a video of your 3-step sparring as well. So while you're stuck at home in lockdown and you want to see videos of the stuff you have to learn for your grade, that's where you'll find them under syllabus sheets and resources. So once again, members, syllabus sheets and resources, that's where you'll find these syllabus videos. Okay, there's also some fun homework sheets if you want to have a go at some different activities while you're stuck at home on lockdown. If you ever want to do some training and it's not training time, go to these recorded classes, and there's a stack of videos of recorded classes that you can do that are about an hour each. So they're the Cubs classes. You want these classes for children, work through those classes. Okay, so there's a whole lot of stuff there, but in particular, I want you to take a look at those syllabus sheets and resources. Okay. Now, back on your feet. I want you to get a little bit of space if you can, so you can take about 3 walking stances. If you can't, that's okay. You're just going to adjust in your space. Parallel ready stance. Ready? First, your right leg goes back. Forearm low block. Go. Now we're going to take 3 steps forward and punch. Make sure your foot's pointing forwards. Train tracks, both feet forwards. Punch. 1. If you need to adjust, then you can go back to the back of your room. 2. And then number 3. And step back, butt all. Okay, so that's the attack for the first of 3-step sparring. It's got 3 punches. Now from here, I'm going to keep in my parallel stance for my defense. Then I'm going to step back, cross underneath, just like Sajumaki. Walking stance, forearm and a forearm lock. Go. And 2. Sit. That's the 3rd one. And then after the 3rd one, we're going to stay on the same spot, do a sine wave, flat fingertip thrust. So it's like a punch, but you open your hand up, like you're sticking your fingers into something squishy. And then step forward, buttle. Let's try that again. Now, Harper and Kenzie, I'm going to give you something different in a moment. But first up, we'll do this one once more. Ready? Huh! And punch. 1, 2, 3. And step back, but all. Pull. Step back in a forearm middle block. 1, 2, 3. On the spot. Pull. And forward, buttle. That's the first 3-step sparring technique. At yellow stripe, you have to do that alone. At yellow belt, you do that with a partner. So the yellow belts and below, just practice that by yourself now. Jade, if you know number 2 and 3, you can practice number 2 and 3 as well. Harper and Kenzie, let's do yours. Your first one. From here, huh! Still in walking stance. But now when you punch, you're going to punch in L stance. Huh! L stance punch. 2. Make sure you're both in L stance. You both have to be in L stance. Sit. Bottle. Now going backwards. Huh! I'm going to do an L stance in a forearm middle block, just like Chonji. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to kick with my front leg and do a side front snap kick. I might have to adjust my distance to get close enough. And then return to my forearm guarding block after I kick. So, then return to my ready position. Okay, so you two can practice that together. White belts and yellow stripes, just check that you've got good, strong walking stances. All the movements, good, strong walking stances. You did a middle punch, so you do a middle defense. Just like Sajumaki, crossing underneath, locking with your inner forearm.
I'm only on 10%.
That's okay. We're almost done for the class. You'll have enough power. Okay, keep practicing. one more time through. I'll do it with you once more. Ha! 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 And good mark. Okay, shot. Just tidy your uniform up. Reach up nice and tall. And hang down to the ground. Breathe slowly and deeply. Bend your legs. Stand up. Left leg behind. And change legs. And shot. Now we've got classes like this until we get back in the dojang. We've got classes Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday at 5 o'clock. You can come to as many of those as you like. We also have class on Saturday at 11 o'clock. We've got one for mums and dads with their children. So you're welcome to come to that too. That's at 11 o'clock on a Saturday. Okay, so look after yourselves. Look after mum and dad. Be helpful around the house. Remember, being stuck at home is hard for mum and dad as well. And it's very likely we're going to be stuck at home for more than a week. Okay, it's unlikely that they'll finish this lockdown in 1 week.
Is class finished?
Yes, it's just about finished. Okay, so see you again on Monday. For now, thank you for coming, guys. I look forward to seeing you next class. Taekwon-Do Zoom.
Taekwon-Do.
Huzzah.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks, guys.